Hola y bienvenidos a este repaso en video. Again, I'm going to do this in English, so don't get too worried. What I thought I would do with this review, because the format of the exam is quite distinct from the exams that we've done in the past and the reviews, and therefore the reviews that I prepared in the past. I thought what I would do for this is first go over a little bit about the format and the main content, like the main things to look at and study as far as vocabulary and grammar, and then basically give the rest of this as if I was giving the exam. This is a practice test that is different from the one that we're going to do in class, and basically what I will do is put the required documents on Canvas, so that you can just take this test as a practice for the real thing. So I'll try to do everything as similar to how I'm going to do it on the test, on the actual test day, as possible. The big difference is going to be that after each section I'm also going to go over the answers. So that would be the big difference. Of course, on exam day I'm not going to stop after each section and go over the answers as much as you would like me to. So that's just to give you a general overview of what I plan with this review, and let's just go ahead and get started. So as far as the format, you can see this here written on the board. This is the format for the listening exam. I think it's pretty similar to what you would have had in Spanish 101, though I've never taught Spanish 101, so I'm not 100% sure. But I think the listening exam format is going to be pretty similar. There's going to be a monologue, which will be, that should be very, very close to what we've done in the listening comprehension sections of the first 3 exams of the semester. I'm going to have a text, I'm going to read that text, and then there are a series of questions that you have to respond to in complete sentences. Complete sentence part being very important to this activity. So that should be very similar. The biggest difference would be that it's going to be 6 questions instead of the usual 5. The second section is going to be a dialogue. On exam day, the dialogue that we're going to listen to is a recording between me and another TA. So you will listen to that, and I will play it 3 times. Actually, every piece of audio that you're going to hear, or every spoken bit that you're going to hear, is going to be either read or played 3 times. So that format will follow through the entire way. And I like to keep track of that on the board so that both you and I know how many times I've done each section. So the dialogue, it will be very similar to the monologue, except there's going to be 2 people. But similar in that you're going to listen to the dialogue and then answer a series of questions. In this case, again, 6 questions in complete sentences about what you've listened to. Section 3 is the shortest section, and it is the one that's worth the least amount of points. It is simply a fill-in-the-blank section. So you're going to have a text in front of you with some blanks in it, and then I'm going to have the completed version of that text, which I will just read, again, 3 times, and then the blanks that you hear, you're going to fill in with the correct word. And that could be vocabulary words, it could be verbs, verb conjugations, right? That type of thing. And then the final section is going to be the personal question section. There are going to be 6 total questions for that one, and you're going to respond to those in complete sentences. The biggest difference here with this section is that you are not going to have the questions written out. So on all these other ones, you don't have the audio written down, right? But you have the questions. On this section, you're not going to have the questions written down, because part of the activity is for you to understand a question and then be able to respond to it. Okay? So that's the basic format, and again, those personal questions will be of a personal nature, but they will relate to the grammar and vocabulary that we've studied for the past 2 chapters. So that brings me to the content for this exam. Now, it's not as easy as the other exams in that I can't just give you a list of these are the exact grammar principles to study for this test, because really what you're looking at is certainly a focus from the principles that we've learned in the last two chapters, but it's not really the test isn't really designed specifically to test grammar, like in the other three tests we've had where there's actually grammar sections, right, where you have to be able to use a certain grammatical structure in the correct way, and you know which structure you're being asked for. That's not really how it's going to be here. The idea here is more to understand spoken Spanish and then be able to respond. Using, of course, appropriate grammar, but you're not being tested on specific things. That said, I can give you a good idea of the main things that you want to review for that so that you're prepared. So as far as grammar goes, I think the biggest thing that you'll want to review are your verb conjugations. Because that's just so fundamental, so important for everything that you're going to see on this test. I would recommend reviewing the present if you're still struggling with verb conjugations in the present. If you have those really locked down, great. Then you probably don't have to worry too much. But there will be a fair amount of present tense on the test. And then the other part that I would study would be the preterite and imperfect. So making sure you know how to conjugate those, making sure you're aware of irregulars, and making sure that you can more or less, right, in a kind of a basic way, understand the difference between preterite and imperfect. Again, you're not being tested directly on that, but a knowledge of those differences is going to be important. And there's actually a PowerPoint on Canvas from the day where we did preterite and imperfect, which could help you in that respect. The rest, really, I think, is going to be more vocabulary, things that you just that you just ought to be able to understand when you hear it, and in a certain sense, be able to produce. Although there's a lot more focus, of course, on hearing and then reproducing what you've heard. So you'll want to study vocabulary from chapters 9 and 10. Vocabulary for chapter 9 you can find on pages 342 to 343 of your text. And vocabulary for chapter 10 you can find on page 374 to 375 of your text. There will be a heavy focus on those vocabulary words. So make sure you're familiar with them. Definitely want to be able to recognize them, especially when heard. So if you can, I'm pretty sure the book has a way where you can listen to them spoken. If you could practice them out loud and remember how they're said so that you can then understand them, I think that would be very helpful. The other two things of vocabulary concepts of vocabulary that I would go over are question words, which I talked about briefly in class, right? You need to know how to say who, what, when, where, why, which, all of those different question words that are used when posing a question are going to be very important, because this test is focused a lot on either reading a question or, on this final section, understanding a question and then being able to respond accordingly. If you don't know what qué means, or if you don't know what cuál means, or if you don't know what por qué means, then you're going to have a difficult time answering those questions correctly. And the final thing that I'll note is there's a lot of focus placed on the grammar aspect of verbs, that is, being able to correctly conjugate in the different tenses, present, preterite, and perfect. That's very necessary, very important. But don't neglect the vocabulary aspect of these words, because a lot of times you'll know how to conjugate a verb, but you won't remember what it means. So as you go through and study, make sure that the common words that we're seeing over and over throughout the semester, I would say throughout all the chapters that we studied, those common verbs that we've seen, make sure you know what they mean, because you're going to see them appear on this test. And that's simply how it is. If knowing what verbs mean is so important. It's so important to keep in your head, because every sentence has one, right? And so being able to recognize those verbs is something that's really, really important. Okay, so without further ado, I think I'm going to go ahead and get started. We will start with section 1 here, the monologue. I will try to read at the pace that I will during class. Again, this is a completely different text, but I will try to make the experience with this exam as close as possible to the actual thing, so that you can be prepared and don't have to worry about the format of the test, when in reality what you're being tested on is your production of vocabulary, your production of sentences, etc. Okay, so here is the monologue there for section 1, La cena de cumpleaños. It just says, El sábado Mario preparó una cena de cumpleaños. Escucha la descripción de Mario y contesta las preguntas con oraciones completas en español. Right? So Saturday, Mario prepared a birthday dinner. Listen to the description of Mario and answer the questions with complete sentences in Spanish. Hola, me llamo Mario. El fin de semana pasado fue el cumpleaños de mi papá. Decidí invitar a mis padres a casa para prepararles una cena el sábado por la noche. Por la mañana fui al supermercado para comprar los ingredientes: carne, patatas, pan, verduras y helado de vainilla. Cociné toda la tarde. Aún preparaba la ensalada cuando mis padres llegaron. Los saludé y todos fuimos a la cocina para comer. Les serví bistec con papas fritas y una ensalada mixta. Después de cenar, queríamos comer helado, pero el congelador se descompuso y el helado estaba derretido. Decidimos ir a la heladería Cold Stone para comer postre. So, now you can go back to the time code that I will have put in the description to listen to the audio 2 more times. So let's take a look at this section with the monologue. And have a look at the questions. First one, ¿Quién cumple años? Right? So with all of these sections on where you have to write a complete sentence, remember you're going to need a subject, a verb, and an object. Okay? Or subject verb, we could say subject verb predicate. Really, subject verb is going to be the most important thing, right? If you start your sentence that way, you're likely to get everything correct. Okay? So number 1, ¿Quién cumple años? Right? We would put then we would put el papá de Mario cumple años. Right? We have the subject, el papá de Mario, and we had a verb, cumple. In this case, we do have an object, which is años. Number 2. ¿Qué compró Mario en la tienda? Okay, and then it says in parentheses, name 3 things. There's a total of 5 things that he brought. You just have to name 3. But basically we'd say, what's our subject? Mario. We have our verb, compró. Okay, and then the different things, compró carne, patatas, pan, verduras, y helado. Okay, so those would be all of the things. Those would be all of the things that that he purchased. Again, you just have to name 3 of those. Roll number 3. Number 3, ¿qué comida le sirvió a Mario a sus padres? Okay, what food did he serve? So we know Mario's going to be the subject because he's the one doing the action. He's the one who served them. Mario les sirvió bistec con papas fritas y una ensalada mixta, but I'm just going to put una ensalada. Okay, so that would be the first 3 answers there. Number 4, I had accidentally done number 4, so let's go back to number 3. Number 3 is going to be ¿Qué hacía Mario cuando sus padres llegaron? What was he doing, right? ¿Qué hacía Mario? So you say, subject, Mario preparaba la ensalada cuando sus padres llegaron. Okay? Again, subject, verb, right? And then we have the rest of the sentence as well. This last one is, we're going to skip to number 5. I keep wanting to say last one. We're not quite on the last one yet. ¿Cuál electrodoméstico se descompuso? Right? So now we name which one broke down. El congelador se descompuso. Right? The freezer broke down. And final one. ¿Adónde fueron para comer postre? You could say ellos. Wouldn't need to. Ellos fueron. But in order to keep this up of giving the subject, right? I think it's important that we put it there. Ellos fueron a la heladería Cold Stone. Okay, así que, sorry. So that's what we're looking at, right? Complete sentences, subject, verb, oftentimes some form of object, and yeah, those are the answers. Okay, so let's move on now to. Get rid of this here. Let's move on to the dialogue. For this, I'm going to play an audio track. Just listen to it and respond to the questions. And remember, you'll have 3 times on the test to listen to the dialogue, just like you do with every other section. If you want to listen to it again, I'll put the time code in the description so that you can go back and listen to it the other 2 times. Here we go.
Hola, Carlos. Quiero hablar contigo.
¿Qué pasa, Miguel?
Necesitamos limpiar la casa.
¿Por qué? Yo creo que se ve bien.
La casa está hecha un desastre. Necesitamos lavar los platos. Necesitamos pasar la aspiradora. Y hace 2 meses que no limpiamos el baño. Nos van a echar a la calle.
No te preocupes, yo lavaré los platos y pasaré la aspiradora.
¿Por qué? ¿Tú no quieres limpiar el baño?
No, no es por eso. Es porque tú limpias el baño mejor que yo.
Bueno, si yo limpio el baño, ¿me invitas unos tacos?
Está bien. Vamos a cenar unos tacos esta noche a las 8 y yo los pago.
De acuerdo. Empecemos, que ya tengo hambre.
Okay, so that's the little dialogue that I have prepared for this. Again, you can listen to it 2 more times so that you have the full experience by just going back to that time code. Let's go over the answers. So, number 1 asks, ¿por qué? Number 1 asks, ¿por qué Miguel quiere hablar con Carlos? Right? Why does Miguel want to talk to Carlos? Okay? So, Miguel quiere hablar con Carlos porque necesitan limpiar la casa. Okay. Number 2. Según Miguel, ¿qué quehaceres necesitan hacer? Right, so according to Miguel, what chores do they need to do? Okay, we do a subject. Let's do ellos, even though it's not necessary, so I'll put in parentheses. Ellos necesitan, right, they necesitan pasar la aspiradora lavar los platos y limpiar el baño. Okay. Hopefully you're seeing the pattern here of this is using a lot of our vocabulary. Okay, that's similar to the actual test as well. A lot of the vocabulary from chapters 9 and 10 are going to be a key component of this test. Okay? Okay, so that's the number 2. Let's go to number 3. Number 3 asks, ¿cuáles de los quehaceres quiere hacer Carlos? Okay. Carlos quiere pasar la aspiradora y lavar los platos. Okay? Right, he doesn't want to clean the bathroom. Number 4. Según Carlos, ¿por qué no quiere limpiar el baño? So why doesn't Carlos want to clean the bathroom? You start with the subject, right? Carlos no quiere limpiar el baño porque Miguel lo hace mejor. Right? Because Miguel does it better, right? According to him. He's like, it's not that I don't want to do it, it's that you do it better. Number 5. Si Miguel limpia el baño, ¿qué tiene que hacer Carlos? Right? So if Miguel cleans the bathroom, what does Carlos have to do in exchange? Type of a thing. Carlos tiene que comprarle tacos. Carlos, subject, tiene que comprarle tacos. Right? To buy Miguel tacos. ¿A qué hora van a cenar los tacos? Número 6. Ellos van a cenar a las 8. Okay, so that's that section there. Again, complete sentences. Very important for this exam. So let's move on now to the fill in the blank section. So for this one, remember, I'm just going to read the text. My version that I have, that I'm going to read, has all of the words. Your version is missing some of the words, and you just need to fill those in. Okay? Again, you can come back to this time code in order to read the video again. In order to hear the audio again. Okay, la mudanza. La semana pasada, unos amigos míos vinieron a ayudarme con mi mudanza. Yo vivía cerca del centro de Lexington, pero me mudé a las afueras de la ciudad. Desempacamos todo en un día. Empezamos en la recámara. Nosotros pusimos el tocador en el rincón y la cama al lado del tocador. Pusimos la lámpara encima de la mesita de noche. Luego pusimos todos los electrodomésticos en la cocina. Para agradecer la ayuda, les compré hamburguesas a todos mis amigos, lo cual fue muy bueno porque tenían mucha hambre. Okay, let's go and look at the answers now. I'll just number this 1, 2, 3, 4 through 10. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, the answer to number 1 is going to be, la semana pasada unos amigos míos vinieron. Okay, so here we're seeing, right, preterite. We're seeing a preterite verb conjugation. Number 2, we're seeing imperfect. Yo vivía, right? I used to live. Yo vivía cerca del centro de Lexington, pero me mudé a las afueras. Right? The outskirts de la ciudad. A vocab word. Número 4. Empezamos en la recámara, ¿no? Recámara, que diga. Recámara. Right, the bedroom. Nosotros pusimos, another verb conjugation. Right, we placed. Preterite. El tocador en el rincón y la cama. Right, the bed. Al lado del tocador pusimos la lámpara. Right, we're seeing a few more vocab words here. Encima de la mesita de noche. Mesita de noche. Luego pusimos todos los electrodomésticos. En la cocina. Para agradecer la ayuda, les compré, another verb conjugation. Right? I bought them hamburgers. I bought my friends hamburgers. Lo cual fue muy bueno porque tenían, another verb conjugation, this time imperfect, they were hungry, right? Tenían hambre, they had hunger, literally. So those are the answers to the fill in the blank section. And now, moving right along, we'll get to the preguntas personales. Okay, preguntas personales. And here I'm going to rather than have you go back to a time code to hear it a bunch of times, I'm just going to do this exactly how I'm going to do it on the test, which is read the question once, wait for a while, read the question again, wait a little while longer, read the question a third time. In order to keep track of that, I'm going to use tally marks on the board. Remember, a good strategy for this would possibly be to write down the question as you hear it the first time that I read it. So that even if you run out of time to answer the question before I move on to the next one, you can still go back and fill it in. Okay? So here we go. Number 1. ¿Qué electrodoméstico usas más frecuentemente? ¿Qué electrodoméstico usas más frecuentemente? ¿Qué electrodoméstico usas más frecuentemente? Número 2. ¿A qué hora desayunaste hoy y qué comiste? ¿A qué hora desayunaste hoy y qué comiste? ¿A qué hora desayunaste hoy y qué comiste? Número 3. ¿Cocinas en casa o sales a restaurantes a comer? ¿Cocinas en casa o sales a restaurantes a comer? ¿Cocinas en casa o sales a restaurantes a comer? Número 4. ¿Cuál quehacer menos te gustaba cuando eras niño o niña? ¿Cuál quehacer menos te gustaba cuando eras niño o niña? ¿Cuál quehacer menos te gustaba cuando eras niño o niña? ¿Ok? ¿Qué hiciste durante las vacaciones de Día de Acción de Gracias? ¿Qué hiciste durante las vacaciones de Día de Acción de Gracias? ¿Qué hiciste durante las vacaciones de Día de Acción de Gracias? Número 6. ¿Cuál es la comida favorita de tu mejor amigo o amiga? ¿Cuál es la comida favorita de tu mejor amigo o amiga? ¿Cuál es la comida favorita de tu mejor amigo o amiga? Okay, so again, this is kind of two parts. First, can you understand a question that is spoken to you? And 2, how well can you respond to that question with your own, with information from your own personal life. So let's take a look at the questions first. Well, let's just look at the questions and answers. And again, the answers are going to be of a personal nature, so they're going to be specific to your individual life. But I'll just give you a sample one. So, number 1 was ¿qué electrodoméstico usas más frecuente? And that has to go to the next line because I can't quite fit it. Frecuentemente, but that's one word. Frecuentemente. So what appliance do you use most frequently? Right? So just answer with, it's going to be yo, right? Yo uso, and let's see, what I use most frequently? Probably the refrigerator. Yo uso el refrigerador más frecuentemente. Okay, so that would be a sample answer for number 1. Number 2. ¿A qué hora desayunaste hoy y qué comiste? Right? What time did you eat breakfast today and what did you eat? So sample answer would be desayuné, right? We're using the yo form. Desayuné a las 7 y comí cereal. Right? That could be a sample answer. Number 3. Number 3. ¿Cocinas en casa o sales a restaurantes? Again, that's one word. Restaurantes. A comer. Okay, do you cook at home or do you go out to restaurants to eat? So it would be something as simple as cocino en casa. Right? Yo form, I cook at home. And keep in mind that with each of these, what we're doing is answering in the tense that it's given, right? So if we're asked something in preterite, we're going to use preterite. If we're asked something in present, we're going to use present, etc. Number 4. Is ¿cuál quehacer menos te gustaba cuando eras niño o niña? So what chore did you least like when you were a boy or a girl, right? Depending. So we could say something like el quehacer que menos me gustaba era lavar los platos. Okay? Something like that would be great. Now, we'll turn to number 5. ¿Qué hiciste? ¿Qué hiciste durante las vacaciones de día de, bueno, probably should be capitalized because it's a holiday. Día de Acción de Gracias. Right? What did you do during the Thanksgiving break? I mean, you could go so like durante las vacaciones. I'm just going to put a simple answer. Fui a la casa de mis abuelos. Right? Maybe you went to your grandparents' house. Fui a la casa de mis abuelos. Right? That would be an answer to the question. Again, we're using the same tense. This is a preterite, so we're responding in preterite. And finally, we'll end with the last one, number 6. ¿Cuál es la comida favorita de tu mejor amigo or amiga? Okay, so what's your best friend's favorite food? You could answer something as simple as su comida, right? His or her comida favorita. That's supposed to be an R. Favorita es bistec. I don't know. Could be whatever. Right, these are individualized answers. So that is your video review. I hope that this is useful for you. I hope that this helps you as you prepare for the test. And yeah, that's all that I had. Nos vemos. Cuídense mucho. Hasta luego. Bye.